Last week, we left off seeing how Jacob was a conniving, manipulating liar who wasn't afraid to wrong people to get what he wanted. And one of the things that matters most is how Jacob, through his misdeeds, was trying to gain what God had already promised to give him. It was almost like Jacob wasn't willing to wait for God's timing. Or maybe it was that he really didn't buy into this whole God thing the way his parents did. Whatever the case, because of the way he wronged his brother and betrayed his father, Jacob finds himself in a place where he is scared for his life. You see, a funny thing happens when you take advantage of your brother to get his birthright, or when you deceive your dying dad to steal the blessing that was meant for your sibling. It has this way of turning people against you. Not only was Jacob's dad distressed that he had been betrayed, but his brother Esau had made a commitment. In Genesis 27, verse 41, Esau says, "The days of mourning for my father are approaching. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." Esau, he was waiting for his father to die, but once his dad was out of the picture and would no longer be grieved by Esau's actions, he was coming for Jacob. Now their mom gets a wind of Esau's intention, and in an attempt to save her favorite son, she concocts a plan to send Jacob to her brother Laban in the guise of finding a wife. But in reality, it was just meant to be a safe haven away from Esau. Now it's important to recognize what was happening here. Jacob is literally fleeing for his life. His family was one of the wealthiest families in the known world, and Jacob leaves his parents, his life at home, his wealth that he enjoyed, and he began a perilous journey hundreds of miles to go stay with his uncle. And Jacob, who was poised to inherit it all, because of his trickery, loses it all and has to run from his brother. So just to make sure that we're on the same page, Jacob has manipulated his brother into getting his birthright, lied to his father to steal the blessing from Esau, and now runs off into the desert. At this point in the story, if Jacob had gotten lost in the wilderness and died of starvation, we would say, yep, that serves him right, he deserved it. But that's not what happens. Instead, one night on his journey, Jacob curls up on the ground with a pillow that's a rock, and God meets him in his sleep. God says to him, "I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. I will give you and your offspring the land in which you are lying. Your offspring will be like the dust of the earth, and you'll spread out toward the west and the east and the north and the south, and all the people of the earth will be blessed through you and your offspring. Look, I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised to you." Did you get that? Jacob has literally betrayed everyone except his mom, who, by the way, is just as culpable as he was. And while he's running from the mess that he had made, God comes to him in a dream and says, "Jacob, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to bring about these promises that were made to your grandfather, and I'm going to take care of you." What? Why him, God? I mean, he does have a brother who, while he doesn't seem like he was the sharpest tool in the shed, at least he's not a total scoundrel. But God is demonstrating something about himself. He is a God of grace. He treats us better than we deserve. His love is not based on our goodness, but his. This is a message for us to remember. Even in our darkest places, when our choices have pushed us to our limit, God never gives up on us. He is a God who treats us better than we deserve. He is a God of grace. Thousands of years later, this idea plays out through one of Jacob's descendants, a man named Jesus, who came to earth, willingly suffered on the cross, and died for all of us so that we who've wronged and turned our backs on God could be brought back into a good relationship with God. Jesus exemplifies this reality that God is a God of grace. And God's treatment of Jacob it shows this. Shows that it's based more on God's character than it is on Jacob's character. And his treatment of you is based more on who God is than who you are. And that's reason for hope.